Hello everyone, welcome to FavsChat. Today we are going to dive into the very first episode of the drama Siren's Kiss. So let's start. Episode 1 begins in a very unsettling location inside a factory. The atmosphere is tense and uncomfortable. A factory worker is standing beside a dangerous piece of machinery, and it quickly becomes clear that he is about to intentionally cause serious harm to his own hand by placing his fingers dangerously close to the machine. This moment immediately raises suspicion because it doesn't feel like an unfortunate accident waiting to happen. Instead, it looks like something that has been carefully arranged in advance. Just as the worker is about to go through with it, another man quietly walks into the room. One thing that stands out about him is the pair of bright white shoes he is wearing. The man speaks calmly and tells the worker that all the paperwork for the insurance claim has already been prepared and is ready to be submitted. This short conversation immediately hints that what is about to happen is part of a larger scheme involving insurance money. The scene then shifts, and we are introduced to one of the most important characters in the story, Cha Usyok. Usyok works as an insurance investigator. His job is to examine suspicious cases and determine whether insurance claims are genuine or part of a fraudulent plan. Usyok is known for being extremely persistent and sharp when it comes to uncovering deception. After learning about the suspicious factory incident, Usyok begins tracking down the man with the white shoes. Eventually, he finds him at a barber shop. Usyok confronts him directly, and the conversation between them becomes tense. Usyok makes it clear that he knows exactly what kind of scheme the man has been running. He even warns him that it is cruel for innocent workers to be placed in situations where they feel pressured to injure themselves just so someone else can collect insurance money. Not long after this confrontation, the man, whose name is Kim, is taken into custody. News reports later reveal the shocking truth behind the operation. Kim was involved in a large-scale fraudulent network that recruited vulnerable workers and convinced them to deliberately harm their own hands so that insurance claims could be filed. The middlemen running this operation were reportedly earning enormous amounts of money from these dishonest payouts. Following this case, Usyok visits a hospital where another troubling situation is unfolding. There he meets a young girl named Siren who has been admitted with severe burns. The sight is heartbreaking. Doctors explain that the child has suffered serious injuries. What makes the situation even more tragic is that this is not the first time something like this has happened to her. A year earlier, Siren had already experienced a terrible accident that caused her to lose sight in one of her eyes. Now she has been injured again. When Usyok gently asks the girl what happened, she quietly explains that it was simply an accident. According to her, she accidentally spilled hot water on herself while trying to cook ramen. However, Usyok's instincts tell him that something may not be right. Having investigated many suspicious insurance cases in the past, he begins to suspect that Siren's mother might be using these unfortunate incidents as a way to collect insurance payments. Usyok becomes determined to uncover the truth behind the situation and find out whether the accident really happened the way it was described. The story then shifts to a completely different environment, a sophisticated art gallery. Here we meet another major character in the story, a woman named Hansiola. She suddenly storms into the gallery looking extremely upset. In a shocking moment, she grabs a knife and slices through a painting that is hanging on the wall. At first, it appears as though she has completely lost her composure. But the truth is soon revealed. Seola is actually the chief auctioneer of the gallery, and the painting that was on display has been just discovered to be a forgery. Furious that such a mistake could happen under their watch, Seola harshly scolds her colleague Kim Yunji for failing to notice the fake artwork earlier. As the episode continues, we also learn more about Usiok's past. Before becoming an insurance investigator, he actually worked as a police officer. The reason he left the force is tied to a deeply painful event in his life. Usiok once had a younger sister named Uhi. One day she lost her life in what was officially considered a tragic accident while spending time with her boyfriend Yunsu. However, the situation raised many doubts in Usiok's mind. One major reason was that Yunsu happened to be the beneficiary of Uhi's life insurance policy. Despite Usiok's suspicions, the authorities, including his colleague Songyol, were unable to find enough evidence to prove that Hyunsu had any involvement in the incident. Because of the lack of proof, Hyunsu was eventually released. This outcome left Usiok feeling frustrated and deeply dissatisfied, which ultimately influenced his decision to leave the police force and pursue work as an insurance investigator. Back in the present time, Seola is busy preparing for a major art auction at the gallery. During the event, a valuable artwork titled Universe is presented for bidding. The painting attracts the attention of many wealthy collectors. After an intense bidding process, the artwork is eventually purchased by a rich client named Baek Jun-byung. Following the successful auction, the gallery hosts a luxurious after-party where guests gather to celebrate the event. During the party, Seola speaks with her friend Hwang Suk-ji. Suk-ji quietly points out that Yunji seems unusually upset. In fact, Yunji can be seen repeatedly drinking champagne while staring angrily in Seola's direction. The tension between the two women becomes obvious. Later, Seola steps outside the party to get some fresh air. Baek Jun-byung follows her and starts a conversation. Seola casually mentions that she thinks she may have seen him before at an auction event. While they are talking, Yunji suddenly approaches them. The atmosphere quickly becomes awkward, so Seola decides to leave the conversation. Jun-byung clearly does not like being dismissed so easily, and in a moment of irritation, he crushes Yunji's business card after Seola walks away. Not long after this, Yunji confronts Seola again in the dressing room. Their conversation is tense and filled with hostility. Yunji boldly claims that she knows a major secret about Seola. She even threatens that she will soon take Seola's position as chief auctioneer. Despite the threat, Seola remains calm and confident. Later that night, Yunji secretly calls Cha Woo-suk. She has heard about his reputation for investigating suspicious insurance cases and refuses to ignore things that seem unusual. During the call, she tells him that a person's life was recently lost under circumstances connected to an insurance payout. However, before Yunji can explain further, something unexpected happens in the stairwell of the building and the call is abruptly cut off. Meanwhile, Usiok and his colleague quickly head towards the location to meet Yunji after receiving her message. But just as they arrive near the building, a shocking event occurs. A woman suddenly falls from the rooftop above. When they look closely, they realize that the person is Yunji. An official investigation into her death begins immediately. During the examination, the medical specialist discovers marks on Yunji's neck that suggest someone may have grabbed her before the fall occurred. This detail strongly indicates that the incident was not self-inflicted but likely involved the actions of another person. Detectives Gong Joo-young and Pyo Song-il take charge of the case. In a brief flashback shown to the audience, a surprising detail is revealed. It appears that Hwang Suk-ji was the one involved in the confrontation with Yunji in the stairwell. Later, Usio visits the Royal Auction Office building on the 12th floor. He unexpectedly observes Seol-ah through a one-way mirror without her realizing it. Inside the room, Seol-ah meets with the company's chairwoman, Kim Soo-nae, and assures her that she will handle the situation carefully so that the investigation does not cause unnecessary trouble for the company. Soon afterward, detectives Jo Young and Seong-yeol question Seol-ah about Yunji's death. Throughout the questioning, Seol-ah remains composed and reveals very little useful information. Once the interview ends, however, she appears slightly shaken and takes a pill to calm herself. As the detectives leave the building, Usio approaches them and offers to cooperate with the investigation. Unfortunately, he and Seong-ah quickly fall into an argument because of their unresolved issues from the past. The conversation becomes heated, and the two eventually walk away from each other in frustration. Despite the tension, Usio continues investigating the situation on his own. At Yunji's funeral, he overhears several employees discussing internal matters within the company. They mention that the managing director, Mr. Song, had been planning to remove Seol-ah from her position and promote Yunji instead. This piece of information immediately makes the situation even more suspicious. Usio later notices Seol-ah leaving the funeral and quietly follows her. When she struggles to unlock her car because her keys are not working properly, Usio steps forward and helps her. Back at his office, Usio begins examining Seol-ah's insurance records. During this search, he discovers something very interesting. Seol-ah's fiancé, Yoon Sung-jae, once had a life insurance policy worth 700 million won, and Seol-ah was listed as the beneficiary. However, the policy had been cancelled sometime earlier. When Usio investigates further, he learns something even more surprising. Seong-jae passed away only 10 days ago, shortly after the insurance policy was cancelled. In a quiet scene at home, Seol-ah is later shown watching a video of herself and Seong-jae wearing the wedding attire, suggesting that their relationship once appeared loving and happy. Usio shares this discovery with Detective Jo Young. She finds out that Seong-jae reportedly died in a yacht accident after falling into the sea and drowning. Now convinced that several unusual events might be connected, Usio directly confronts Seol-ah. He tells her about his suspicions regarding both Yunji's death and Seong-jae's mysterious accident. Usio explains that even though the insurance policy had been cancelled, Seol-ah might still have benefited from the large premium refund that was returned when the policy ended. However, Seol-ah calmly dismisses this theory. She states that such an amount of money is insignificant to her and confidently answers Usio's questions without showing fear. At the same time, Detective Jo Young receives a strange anonymous phone call. The caller is a woman who disguises her voice to sound like a man. The mysterious person claims that Yunji did not lose her life by her own actions. Instead, someone else was responsible for what happened. The episode ends with a chilling final scene. We see Seol-ah standing alone on the rooftop on the night of the incident. From above, she looks down at Yunji's body lying on the ground below. This moment leaves viewers with a powerful sense that Seol-ah may know far more about the situation than she has revealed so far. And this is how episode 1 of Siren's case concludes. If you enjoyed this detailed breakdown, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I will be back soon with the explanation of the next episode. See you again in my next video.